Thanks for joining me for another video. My name is Sean and I'm a registered dietitian. Today I'm going to take you through another nutrition support calculation. So grab your calculators, a pen and piece of paper and follow along. This is all going to be made up as we go along, so no tricks, no previous math. We're just going to run right through it. So here we have a patient. Let's say it's an 80-year-old female. She came into the hospital after a ground level fall at home, and she's not eating and they need to do nutrition support. So we're going to use the Mifflin equation because the Mifflin equation estimates calorie needs for non-intubated patients. So we're going to use the Mifflin equation. The Mifflin equation is going to come out with, let's just say 1325 calories. Now, because the Mifflin equation, it needs a stress and activity factor. So let's just say she's working a little bit with PT, but not particularly active, a 1.1 activity factor, and she's got a couple bumps and bruises, but otherwise no surgery or anything, a 1.2 stress factor. So we're going to go in here, we're going to take the needs generated by the Mifflin equation and we're going to multiply by the activity factor and multiply by the stress factor. That's going to give us her total caloric need. So that comes out to 1749 kcals. Now let's say our patient weighs 65 kilograms, her BMI is 28. So she's not super malnourished, she's not morbidly obese, so we can just multiply that by a 1.2 adjustment for her protein needs. Like I said, she's got some bumps and bruises, but she's not a surgical patient, and so her protein needs are going to be 78, so we'll just say 75 to 80 grams per day. Now, if you have any questions about the nutrition support calculations like Mifflin, I have an energy video, so check that out. It goes over the calculations I use to determine people's caloric needs. There's also another one on protein needs, so check that out if you have questions about that. Okay, cool. So we have our formulary here. This is all the formulas that are available here at this institution. Now, on this formulary, we have some nutrition support formulas that are specific for the ICU, so we're not going to use that. This gal, she's just on the medical floor, let's say. We do have Jevity, we've got Osmolite, and we've got Promote. Promote being our high protein, Osmolite being our higher concentration fiber-free formula, and then Jevity being our fiber-containing formula. I have another video where I go over these formulas, so if you have additional questions, check that video out as well. I'll try and link them in the description below. But let's just try Jevity out just to see if it will work. So the best way that I do this to determine if this is the right formula is you need to make sure that given a certain amount of calories that the patient will receive an adequate amount of protein. So the easiest and the fastest way to do that is to take your formulary, whatever it is, take your calorie needs divided by the calorie concentration of the formula divided by 1,000. What this does is it gives you your multiplier. So 1748 divided by 1.2 divided by 1,000. 1748 divided by 1.2 divided by 1,000 gives you 1.46. What this is, that's liters per day of formula that's needed to give this calorie need. So what you can do is you multiply this by the protein that's per liter. So this Jevity is 55.5. So that's going to give us 1.46 times 55.5. That's 81 grams. So what this means is if you have Jevity and these are your calorie needs, if you divide it by the concentration of the formula, whatever this is, if this is a 1 cal, a 1.2, a 1.5, this here at our facility is a 1.2 cal formula. Divide that by 1,000, this is going to give you the liters per day of this formula at this concentration to provide this amount of calories. So we know that this patient needs this much. If they get this much, how much protein will they also receive? If they receive 15 grams of protein from this much, then we know the formula we chose is too low in protein. If the number is 300, then obviously it's too high in protein. So you take this and you multiply it by the protein per liter that's shown on your formulary, which is 55.5 grams per liter. So 1.46 liters per day times grams per liter gives you grams per day. So this meets her protein needs. Now let's try this again with, let's say, osmolite. So osmolite, just say you tried osmolite first. Osmolite's a 1.5. It also comes in a 1 and a 1.2. So check with your facility what concentration you have. So we'll do our calorie needs divided by the concentration of the formula divided by 1,000 milliliters per liter gives you total liters per day. 1749 divided by 1.5 divided by 1,000 gives you 1.2 liters per day of osmolite will provide 1749 kcals. Now multiply that by 63 grams of protein per liter will give you, roughly 70, let's just do the math accurate. 1.2 times 63 gives you 76 grams. So technically you could use osmolite for this patient and meet their caloric and their protein needs. Now, let's say her needs were at least 80 grams. I'm probably going with the Gevity because it meets at least 80 grams. This is a little bit shy of 80 grams, but it still falls within her needs. Let's try something that would be just clearly wrong, okay? Let's say, let's do Vital High Protein, just for an example. It's a critical care formula, but it emphasizes this point. So Vital High Protein, Vital HP, is a 1 cal formula. So we take our 1749 divided by 1 divided by 1,000 gives you 1.75 liters per day times 87 grams per liter. So this formula will give her 152 grams of protein per day. So this is clearly too high. This is okay, but it doesn't have fiber, and why not give her fiber? So Gevity is going to be the formula that we use. All right, so we got our messy board here. So we've decided that Gevity is what we're going to use. We know that for her calorie needs, we're going to meet her protein. So how do we determine what rate we're going to run this at? So what we can do is you can take this 1749 divided by 1.2 divided by 24. So 1749 divided by 1.2 divided by 24. This is 61 mils per hour. So if you run this at 61 mils an hour, it'll give you this much. So I'm just gonna, usually you round up, but it's so close to 60, I'm just gonna say 60 mils an hour times 24 hours times 1.2, the concentration, kcals per mil. What happens is the mils cross off, the hours cross off, and it gives you the calories provided. So the only thing that's left is the calories, 1728. Cool. So what we can do, we can take our 60 an hour times 24 hours gives you 1440 milliliters per day. And we know that this is 55.5 grams per liter. So to get from milliliters to liters, you literally just move the decimal point over 3 spots. So 1.44 times 55.5 gives you 80 grams. Cool. So now we have our nutrition support recommendation. Our patient's going to get Jevity 1.2 at goal rate of 60 mils an hour to provide 1728 calories, 80 grams of protein, and then we can just take that 1.44 and multiply it by the water, which is 807. And it's going to give her 1,162 mils of free water. Then we can just do our 60 mil Q4 hour flushes. So that's how we do the math for this patient on Jevity. Thanks for watching. Cheers.